Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Live from Switzerland, from Zurich. We're holding a Daf Nun Beis Amud Beis, like 18 lines from the bottom. Omar Rav Amrim, Omar Rav Chizda. We're discussing the concept called drusa. Drusa is when an animal scratches another animal. It pounces on it and it rips its skin with its paws, with its claws. The Gemara says it has venom. It has a poison in its claws. Some want to say that the poison is bacteria. Today we call it bacteria. That once it cuts through the skin, it could kill the animal with bacteria. Some say it's not true. It's real venom. Who has real venom? Today we don't know of any animals that have real venom. So maybe nishtanu atzvayim, whatever you want to say. But let's go with that it's bacteria. So the question, the Mishnah mentions three animals that have this bacteria, four maybe. 2 birds, a hawk and a gas, and two chayas, a wolf and a lion. What about what about a smaller animal? What about a cat? What about a dog? Do they have venom? When they scratch another animal, does that animal die? What about another type of bird? What about an eagle? What about a vulture? So that's today's sugya. Omer Rav Amrim, Omer Rav Chizda, Drusas Chatul. Chatul we know is a cat. They have cats here in Switzerland all over the place also? Okay, good. They're good animals. In Eretz Yisrael, this is an Israeli mongoose. They call that in Hebrew an unimia. This, when I was in Tifrach as a kid, I was in Yeshivitana there, and an unimia made it into the chicken pen and killed a bunch of chickens, and there's a shaila of Suffolk drusa of the entire pen, of hundreds, thousands of chickens, there's a whole maisa. Here you see an emiyah eating, actually catching something, they eat meat. Bigdi mutlaim. Yes, they do have poison, they have venom, but only for smaller animals, very, very small sheep. The baby sheep and the baby goat, that's it. A large goat, large sheep, no. It'll put the venom in. It won't do anything to it. Drusas chulda ba'ifais. In Hebrew, chulda is a rat. Some call it a weasel. It's smaller than a cat. That, if it attacks a bird, if it attacks a pigeon, a chicken, that causes it to be treif. That's a drusa. Meitzvei, I have a problem with Rav Chizda. Chizda says that a cat puts venom inside, it's a problem. It says, Drusas chatul, neitz, v'nemiya. So now we have a different list. We have the cat, nemiya is good, neitz is a hawk. That's a hawk. That's what the Mishnah talks about. Says the Gemara, says in the Braisa, Drusas chatul, neitz, v'nemiya, atchitinokev lecholol, aval drusa leslu. There's no such thing when a cat or a hawk or a mongoose, they attack another animal, there's no venom. What could they do? They can make a hole that goes all the way to the kishkis, to the ma'ayim. One small hole in the ma'ayim, that makes it treif. But nothing to do with venom, nothing to do with poison. But Rav Chizda said a cat does have venom. So what do? The Tizbara, says the Gemara, Neitz Lidaris. Whoa. One of the 3 things is the hawk. And you're telling me a hawk doesn't have venom? It's Mefurish in the Mishnah, but Nan, Ujusanez, that's in our Mishnah, Mem Beis, 10 daf ago. The beginning of Elu Trefus, it says that a hawk has venom. It has venom towards, a hawk has venom when it comes compared to a bird. It'll kill a pigeon. But if it scratches a goat, it won't kill him. That's what it means, there's no venom. Okay, you got out of that one, but what are you going to do with Rav Chizda, who says Mefurish that a cat has venom, and in the Braisa it says a cat doesn't have venom. I'm telling you, there's going to be some super interesting things that you never heard in your life. The Tanya Beribi Oimer, he holds like it's Beribi. So there's 2 ways to learn. Beribi says the same thing, but the Shayla is how Rav Chizda holds. Beribi Oimer ein Jerusalem makim shem matzilim. When a cat is not scared, nobody's trying to take away his food, he doesn't inject venom. Not every time he catches something, he injects the venom. Yes, Jerusalem. if you try to save your animal away from the cat, he'll stick him with venom. Memela, Rav Chisda that says there's venom in a cat, is talking about that you're trying to save your animal. You're trying to save the animal, the cat will put the poison in the animal. You're not trying to save him, no poison. Ask the Gemara, you're telling me that if you're not trying to catch him, he's not going to put the venom. Oh, he turned the goylas to have a Rav Kahana. There was a chicken in Rav Kahana's house. The Ra Chatul Basra, a cat tried to catch it. It ran into a room, and the door slammed in its face. And the cat, with its paws, started banging on the door, try to get in. And when it did that, they found, where its paws are, they found 5 little drops of red. Like the poison. Try to put the poison. Now, if you hold that it's not real poison, like I'm trying to think that that's what the Gemara means, that it's bacteria, so this is a very big problem. How does this bacteria, how do you put 5 pieces of bacteria on a wall? How do you see it? So you probably have to explain that. How is the bacteria? The bacteria is from rotten flesh from animals that he ate before. It's inside his claws, and they could take the claws out. So I don't know exactly how to explain it, but that's the best I could come up with. That they have they had this rotten meat, and when he was banging on the door in anger, some of the meat went out. Otherwise, it means venom, and we don't know about this venom. So says the Gemara. So what's the Gemara's kasha? The Gemara's kasha is, you see that it puts the venom on the door, even though nobody's trying to help the chicken. So the Gemara, no. When you try to save yourself, when the mechutz of chicken is trying to run away from the cat, then the cat gets really mad. It's like a human being trying to save the chicken, and then the cat puts the venom. V'Rabbanon. So now, just pay attention over here, because over here, this Rabbanon, the Gemara understands the Rabbanon hold that even if a cat is mad, there's no venom, there's no drusa by a cat. That's this Rabbanon. In a second, we're going to say Rabbanon say the opposite. I'm just pointing it out. So Rabbanon that argue on the Tanakama over here, they hold that a cat has 0 venom. So Rav Chisda that holds there is venom, he holds like the Tanakama when he's mad. When a cat gets mad and you're trying to save something from him, he puts the venom in. Rabbanan Ziyara Islay, Koli Ziyara. Yeah, of course he has venom because he sees it on the door. What's on the door? What's the 5 dots on the door? There's venom, but it's not strong enough. It doesn't burn. So now we're going to switch the wording a little bit, but Beribi is going to say the same. Rabbanan, as I pointed out, are going to say the opposite. Homani, this Brisa goes like Beribi. The Sanya Beribi yes Jerusalem before he said ain't Jerusalem, but he's saying the same exact thing, it's just reverse words. Yes Jerusalem before he said ain't Jerusalem, ain't Matzilim. It's the same thing. When does a cat have venom? When you try to save something from it. But the big nafkamina over here is Rabbanon, because according to Rabbanon now, there'll be venom in every situation in the world. A cat always gives venom. Now the Gemara asks the same question, same story. It ran to a room. They closed the door. So the cat started banging on the door. And there's 5 dots of blood. When you try to save yourself, it's like you're trying to, like a human being saving, and the cat gets really mad and injects the venom. So this is super interesting. We're going to learn, like one pshat and Rashi, that this happened on 3 different days. So Rav Kahana asked Rav. We actually saw the other day Rav Kahana and Rav Asi asked Rav. So here we have Rav Kahana asking Rav. Yes, drusa l'chatul or yen drusa l'chatul? Does a cat have venom? Omar lei af l'chulda yes drusa. What are you asking about a cat? Even something smaller than a cat has venom. Even a rat, a weasel has venom. A different day, Rav Kahana bumps into Rav and he asks him, yes, drusa l'chulda or yen drusa l'chulda? Interesting. Even though Rav already told him this is drusa by a chulda, he asked him again. He thought something was funny about the way Rav answered him, so he says, Amalei, af lechatul, ein drusa. All of a sudden, Rav says there's no drusa, not by a chulda and not by a cat. So then another day, Rav Kana bumps into Rav and he asks him, lechatul or lechulda, yeshlem drusa? Or yelem? So now he decides to ask both the cat and the weasel together. Yeshlem drusa, yelem drusa. Amalei, lechatul, yes drusa, lechulda, ein drusa. What is going on here? It's a riddle. Says the Gemara like Kashya. When Rav said that a weasel, a rat, has venom for birds, regarding birds, they can kill a bird. When he said a cat doesn't have a drusa, we're talking about a large sheep. A cat has venom for a baby sheep, not a large one. When it's the smaller ones, and here we have all three, Rabbi says, take a look. Now for a baby, a cat does have. And a chulda, weasel, is for birds, right? Okay. So that's the whole sugi in one shot. That what? A cat has venom for a baby goat, not for a large goat, and a chulda has for a bird. Zog the Gemara. Boy Ravashi. Shar oifos tmeim. Let's say here's a geschmacka vulture eating a bull, a buffalo. Does a vulture have venom or not? Yeshlem drusa, elam drusa. Every bird, all these the predatory birds, they have venom. So why does the Mishnah say only a hawk? Says the Gemara, I'll tell you why the Mishnah talks about a hawk. Because the hawk is always has more venom than a regular bird in both Pshatim and the Gemara. Either the hawk could kill with his venom a bird its same size as him, but another bird could only kill something that's smaller than him. The next pshat is no, we're going to go take it up one step. A hawk could kill even a very large turkey, even though it's smaller than a turkey. But another bird could only kill the same size. What about a fox? Do they have foxes here in Switzerland? Says the Gemara, a shul does not have venom. There was a story of Drusa, and they brought it to Chacham. Yes, Drusa. There is a Drusa by a fox. You mixed up the story. It wasn't a fox, it was a cat. Yes, Drusa shul. Over here, it's fakir. They're saying there is a Drusa for a shul, for a fox. You see fakir. There's no. Says Gemara Rav Safra, au kelevava. Naktinon ein drusa elabiyad. There's a drusa is only the front hands with the claws, not the back. La fuki regel deloy, no back legs, hind legs. Ein drusa elabiyad poiren. It's only through the claws, la fuki shendeloy, but not through the teeth. You know, when I was in Morocco 2 weeks ago, so I held a monkey. And it scratched me, and I started bleeding, and everybody got nervous. I'm going to get rabies, and this and that. So it's not so bashit. I don't know if he has venom or not. You want to talk about a kaif? Listen to this. This is what Noah was all worried about. It says in Jerusalem the animal has to have intent to put it in. And if it doesn't have intent, it doesn't go in. And Jerusalem and there's no Jerusa only when it's alive. There's no Jerusa after it's dead. So the Gemara asked right away, what do you mean? You just said that you have to have das, you have to have intent. So if it's dead, of course, no intent, Godom is dead. If it's alive and it doesn't have intent, there's no venom. So if it's dead, of course there's no intent. The Gemara comes up with the most interesting teretz. The lion, let's say, caught an animal, and the owner of the animal is so upset, it chopped the lion's hand off. So you have a lion that's alive. When it stuck its paw into the animal, it was alive, but now it's dead. Listen to this. When somebody goes to the mikveh, the Hasidim that go to the mikveh every day, when do you become tar? When you go into the mikveh or when you come out of the mikveh? You guys know. Well, some knew. So, the Kesef Mishnah says when you come out of the mikveh. When does the venom go into the body of an animal? When he puts the claw in or when he takes the claw out? When he takes the claw out. That's what he's talking about. We would think that when it goes in. No, when he pulls it out. So in Mela, the claw went in when the lion was alive. But it came out after he's dead. He chopped off his hand. Interesting case. The same about the Dorish, we would think that when it went into the body, there's venom. No, it's when he comes out. You'll tell me when we should stop. We're 43 minutes in. Okay, so we have like 15 minutes left. Whoever wants to leave, I understand. You get up and go. It's not a busha. It's late. It's covered b'simcha rabba. Omer Rav Ravuna Omer Rav. You have one lion that goes into a whole pen full of bulls. And you find a claw, one siparin, one nail in its hide. I'll show you what it looks like. That is for the next part of the sugya. These are two claws. One is a healthy one. One is not healthy. Something like that. Ein choishishin shema read zerasa. We're not concerned that maybe a lion did that to him. So how did he get a nail on his back? My taima. Why? Because Rov HaRois is dorisim umiot ein dorisim. Okay, you have a majority of lions that do attack animals. V'chol hadoires ein siparin ishmetes. Tosfos explains v'chol means roiv. 51% don't lose their nails, the claws. Very rare for a lion to lose a claw. It must be Eimar b'koison iskachech. I had a little bit of a problem. If anybody has the answer to this problem, how did a nail get from the wall into the bull? Because the lion went like this, and the nail got stuck in the wall. But think about it. The sharp part went into the wall. Now when the bull... No, you don't like that question. Not at all. No one doesn't appreciate the question. When the bull rubs his back, it got the unsharp part in his back. Okay. Somehow it flipped over and went, okay. Fine. Because there's a chazaka. Because it's kach. Adarabba, at the Gemara, Rav Shvar, Mitzchachim, Umitum, Eivus. Not so many. The famous Gemara in Baba Kama, Nischachach bekoisel ana osoi. The shar rubbed his back in enjoyment on the wall and knocked down the wall. So, but most don't really scratch their backs on a wall. What are the chances that a nail, a claw of a lion is going to go into his back? There's a hoyle of it doesn't make more sense that he was attacked by a lion. Says we have a svar in both directions. We have a chazake here, have a safek drusa. So now we have something called a safek drusa. No, we didn't see that a lion attacked it. We see a nail. Circumstantial evidence. We don't have to be concerned about stuff. That's because he found the actual claw. If you see this, a tear in the skin, it's such a chaval. I took a picture of a zebra with 5 tears, exactly like this on this picture. 5, maybe 4. And I can't find the picture. I looked up and low, I can't find it. So, so that's that picture that I showed you before. It has to be a healthy nail. But if it's going out, it's like a dying nail, claw, that makes sense that it fell off, and so actually the animal was attacked by a lion and it left the nail in its back. It's only because he left one. But what are the chances that he scratches his back on a wall and 3 claws went into his back? No, 3 claws means he's attacked by a lion. That's only because they were like this, in one line. Like, it makes sense. That was like, the line attack. But if you find one here, one over there, then he wasn't attacked by a lion. Itmar. Rav Omar, we're not concerned about a suffix drusa. Why? Because we have a chazaka. You are concerned about a suffix. Says we don't know if the lion showed up or not. We don't even know if there's a lion. We're going to say that what happened. No, it's a faker. First of all, we don't even know if a lion showed up. And if a lion did show up, maybe it didn't attack. So there's double suffix. What if you don't know if it was a dog or a cat that attacked? Say the easier thing, the one that doesn't have venom. If the lion was quiet and sat down between the bulls, I love it. Maybe he was making peace with them. If he chopped off one of their heads, then he's calm. If they're both screaming, making noises, they go meh. They're scared of each other. So keep ligi, top line, keep ligi the yuko shasik v'inu kamakarkaron. When the lion is quiet and they make noise. So sometimes, but those who make a lot of damage, they don't speak at all. That's what the Gemara is saying over here. The lion, when he's quiet, it might be indication that he made a lot of trouble. He killed a bunch of these bulls. They're making noise. He's killing them. He's actually scared. That's why I showed the video of him running away. Sometimes he's running away from the bulls. Says the Gemara, the halacha is like Shmuel, that if we have a doubt in the drusa, we have to be concerned. Drusa. What about Rav who says that we're not concerned about a drusa, a suffix drusa? Interesting that tomorrow's daf, Rish Lakish is going to say, who's Rav? Who's this person Rav? He means it seriously. He never heard of him. And we haven't explained to him, he's the Golad Dar, the whole thing. But over here, the Gemara says, Lo Shemiali, I didn't hear of him. Koloimar, what it really means is Lisfirli, I don't believe in Rav Shita. The Shmuel Rav retracted. He says, no, I hold like Shmuel, they have to be concerned about a suffix drusa. That what? Dahu Shar Kafa, there was a story that a whole basket full of birds came in, live birds. The suffix drusas, there was a suffix, maybe a mongoose came in and grabbed one of them. They came to Rav. So he didn't want to paskin. Shadrinu kamei de Shmuel. So why didn't he want to paskin? So you see that he retracted, the Gemara is going to say. And what did Shmuel do? Chankinu v'shadinu b'na'ara. Very interesting. I'm telling you, today's daf is super interesting. He didn't say it's treif. He took them, choked them to death, and threw them in a river. It was pshat. And if Rav didn't take it back, then what? We're talking about a suffix drusa. Some animal came and scratched one, maybe not. It's a suffix. L'shrinu, Rav should say it's mutter. Elamai hodabe. So what are you telling me? He retracted it? So l'shrinu? If he took it back and he says that it's also, so let him say it's also. Why did he say I'm not paskening? Go to Shmuel. He should have said either it's mutter or it's also. Elo, the pshat is Hasri the Shmuel have. Maybe he didn't even retract. He just didn't want to paskin. It was in Shmuel city in Nahar Dah. He didn't want to paskin. Ask the Gemara a side question. Why did he choke it? Throw it alive into the water. No, that's not good. They'll fly away, and then somebody's going to catch them. So wait 12 months and see if it's a treif or not. Also with the takala. If you have a lot of birds that are walking around in your house, and some of them are suffix treif, some of them are not, eventually you're going to shech one, and by mistake you're going to eat it. So sell to a guy. Also, there's vanilla show. What does the guy do with it? He's going to sell it back to the Jew, and it's going to be a suffix treif. So why did you have to throw it into the river? Choke it, throw it into the garbage can. At least give it to the dogs. Elo, the pshat is the versume, milsa, the surah. He wanted to show that this is mamashah. So let's just do 5 more lines and then we'll be done. Ahu Ravza, a story. There was a goose, a duck, the Havabe Rav Ashi that came, that was at Rav Ashi's place. All the Benikanya went between the reeds, between the wood. His neck was full of blood. Yeah. So they didn't know. Why is he bleeding? Did a cat attack him or did the wood attack him? Omer Rav Ashi, the tree. Maybe the tree attacked his neck. Omer Rav Ashi le'amrinon. Didn't we just say Savik Kalba, Savik Shunra, Emar Kalba? If we don't know if it's a dog attacked him or a cat, let's go with the Kula and let's say a dog attacked him. Hachanami, Savik Kaya, Savik Shunra. When you have a Savik, you don't know if the piece of wood gave him a cut or a cat. Let's go with the Kula, Emar Kanya, Machia, Rabboisai. Have a wonderful day. Yishkoyach for coming. Beautiful.
Merit the zchus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.